But if a student is interested in 5 different careers in one lifetime, it is not possible for them to explore or pursue all 5 career options.
Like after completing 12th standard, we always have options, but the value of degree is getting reduced by the time to time. So at this moment, what student can do? They usually said, I have to pay for the internship. So how a student can identify this? Like have career option for young people change in last 5 or 10 years? Welcome to Kissa Idea Ka, where idea represent inspiring individual having a dedication, energy, and ambition. Our today guest is very special. He is master in identify the what stream is better for you. If you are struggling with a career, if you're struggling with what stream I will choose, struggling with skill you need for this century, this is podcast for you. So happy to have you, sir.
Hi, Lakshmi. Thank you for having me.
So, sir, we will start with your journey, like how you started with the career facilitator and what was your interest and how it evolved over the time.
Yeah, I think that's a good question, Lakshmi. So, uh, for me, I started out not in the education space. So, I started off working in the media space. I'm a mass media graduate. So, immediately after that, I joined ad agency. I was working as a media planner. 2 years, I was also volunteering, at a lot of these different schools that were there in my area, and I realized how much I liked being with students, and that is when I transitioned to the education sector. So, and then specifically to career counseling, I think I was introduced to an organization called Antarang Foundation at that time, and I was with them for a very long time. I'm still associated with them, and through them is when my career counselor or facilitator role started.
After completing 12th standard, we always have options like either we can go BCom, BA, or BAc, or any degree. But the value of degree is getting reduced by the time to time. At this moment, what student can do? What mindset student need to have toward the degree?
Yeah, I think this is a big question that a lot of students think about. I would, in an ideal case scenario, I would tell students to think about this much before you actually enter college. So this is something students need to start thinking about right from grade 8, grade 9, about what they are going to do going ahead. Once you have a rough idea, okay, this is something that I'm interested in, and that would dictate what education pathway you will choose. But in case if you've already chosen an education pathway, let's say you've already taken up a particular stream in your 11th and 12th, and uh, you're not sure about what you want to do going ahead, I would suggest that try and identify what your interests are. What is something that you really like to do? Also, I try and identify what is something that you enjoy doing, plus you are good at it. So it's something that you something that might come naturally to you. I think these are two aspects that one should keep in mind, and then of course besides that you also need to keep the reality of the world in mind. So you mentioned AI. I think that is the reality of the world that we are living in right now. So keeping these things in mind, you need to choose an appropriate stream for you going ahead. Also, very correctly, what you said about degrees maybe not having as much importance now. More and more, we see workplaces are asking students whether they can do things practically, whether they have certain skills that will make them job ready. So we observe this in a lot of workplaces as well, where they are concentrating more on skills rather than degrees.
Ever you have faced the difficulty where student have two options like I want to be a like businessman at the same time, but I am interested to like doing acting or like some going in some cinema hall or playing some sport. So how you convince student to do
Yeah.
the part which really suit them?
I think most students, uh, very few students, are very clear about what they want to do. Most students always have this confusion about whether I should be doing this or whether I should be doing this. And it's actually very possible that a student might be interested in both these fields. Now, how does a student decide what is the field that they should actually get into? Because it's एक या दो career होगा तो a student maybe might be able to pursue. But if a student is interested in 5 different careers in one lifetime, it is not possible for them to explore or uh, pursue all 5 career options. So I think a very good way to get clarity on this is for the student themselves to experience these careers. So it could be in the form of an apprenticeship or an internship where the student actually experiences somewhat of this career and then decides what they want to do. I think that's the best way. I think that will give them clarity on which career they should be pursuing going ahead. And now you have these options. You have government schemes through which the government has this apprenticeship program through which students can experience these different careers. There are a lot of companies that offer internships. So I think students should take these opportunities, explore careers, and then decide what they want to get into.
Very true. So we will go into next question. So you said about the internship. When I meet my friends or in the college or school, they usually said, I have to pay for the internship. Like they either visited Internshala or Naukri.com or LinkedIn. People ask for money to give them internship, and they didn't able to identify what is the right and wrong, like which agency give them to right internship of no wrong internship. So how a student can identify this?
I think that's a great question, Lakshmi, because especially during COVID, I do remember a lot of students reaching out and saying that uh, there are these employers who are asking for money even for an interview. So I would just tell all the students that please do not get involved in any of these things. Any reputed organization will not ask you money to give an interview or for an internship or for a job. Now, how do you identify whether the organization that you are applying for is reputed or not? I think there are a few ways that one can check. So, the first thing to do is check the company's website. Once you know of the opening, go and try and check their website. Do a simple Google search. You might also get some reviews. And the third way to do it is to go on LinkedIn, check the company, check how many people are following the company, see if there's someone in your network who maybe is associated with that company in any way. Reach out to them, speak to them, whether what do you know about this company, how reputed do you think it is, what is the organization like, what is their culture like. So I think these are things that students can do uh, from their home, from their mobile phones. It's quite a simple search. So these are ways to do it. uh, I think if even after this, if you are not sure, maybe also just trying and visiting the office, seeing that whether this office is actually there at the location that is mentioned on the website or on the email that you have received.
Yes, sir, very true and very important to identify this, because it's very now in the new education policies, internship is compulsory, and and that I see the people are asking कि यार मुझे internship नहीं मिल रहा है और internship के लिए मुझे पैसे देने पड़ रहे हैं. So in opposite, like internship people will give you the money, not you. So it is very important to create awareness or have a awareness of these things. So how like have career option for young people change in last 5 or 10 years?
Options have opened up in the last 10 years.
Mm.
There are far more career options than what maybe I had when I was in school and college.
Yes, sir.
But that still doesn't matter as much, because what actually matters for students today is what are the career options that are going to open up in the next 5 years. And those are going to be very different from what it was over the last few years, just because the landscape of jobs and work is changing so rapidly. So yes, jobs have changed over the years and jobs will continue to change. I think what I would tell students is try and get the skills that are transferable, which you can use with the changing job landscape. Try and get these skills. So it could be AI related skills, digital skills, ability to maybe work in teams, work in groups. These are skills that students can get, and these are skills that one can transfer from one job to another, because the landscape of jobs will keep changing. So earlier हम जो सोचते थे कि हम अकाउंटेंट बन जाएंगे या हम ये फील्ड में चले जाएंगे एंड बस दैट इज द एंड ऑफ इट. I think COVID has also taught us that one needs to be flexible, one needs to learn skills that are transferable so that one can get jobs not just right now, but 5 years from now as well.
Very important. And you recently said that the 10-year is like options are created, but in upcoming 5 year is something interesting. So how can young people prepare for the jobs that don't even exist yet?
Hearing students say that, sir, हम क्या पढ़े, हम क्या करें, क्योंकि कल उठ के ये जॉब नहीं रहेगा तो. Especially I hear a lot of students who want to go into banking having this fear that, sir, जैसे ATM आया था और बैंक में बहुत सारे जॉब्स चले गए थे because of the ATM machine. So आगे चलकर क्या होगा, especially banking industry, finance, these are things where technology can be very disruptive. So I would, again, what I said earlier, try and learn a lot of these skills. I think in the coming years, learning about AI, how to use AI would be very similar to how using Excel, Word, PowerPoint was for us. So one needs to keep up with all of this to be employable going ahead. Learn a lot of these skills which are transferable. You will learn a lot of the technical stuff, the hard skills through the course that you're pursuing, but also learn these other skills that will make you more employable, that will give you an edge, that will keep you relevant 5 years from now. It's not something that one can stop. Given the landscape and given how things are changing, one has to keep learning. So even if you get a job, that doesn't mean that you need to stop learning. You can always do a lot of these online courses, these things that are now available to you.
Yes, so very important. So you said like these tools are available for us, but now we have the burden of the knowledge. Like we have too much options. Like either you can go for that or you can go for that. You have YouTube to identify what thing you want to learn, and so in the outside they have too much like a mentorship. It can be a mentorship or information that affected their mental health, and they face difficulty to making a decision toward their life. And due to that, they take a wrong decision. After 30, they have to change their career. So what is your opinion on that?
I also do recognize that students are under a lot of stress. There is a lot of competition. Plus, the amount of resources and the amount of information that is available can also be overwhelming. I think mentors is having a mentor, having a someone who you can discuss this with is helpful. Having a career counselor or a facilitator is something that might be helpful for students. Someone who can guide them as to what are things that might be more important for them. My advice usually to students is identify 3 skills at any given point of time and try and do something towards that. So let's say if you want to get into finance, identify 3 things that might help you when you get into that field, and then focus on those 3 things for the given moment. Once you are done with that, then try and see what else you can do. Besides mentorship, I feel like just having the right exposure also helps. So getting exposed to industry leaders, following them maybe on LinkedIn, following their journeys might be helpful. It might act as a guide for a lot of students.
Yes, sir. Very important. So do you think like now like in previous people give the job while looking at resume or CV? Now we think the trend is changing. Now we need a social image. Like, is this important to have an image on social media? Like you have to have a LinkedIn profile, Instagram profile, Facebook profile, or other many profile to have visual like what you are person.
Yeah, I think it is quite important that you do have some sort of social media presence. LinkedIn is one. It is a professional network. I think it does help. Although I would say that it's not the only thing that recruiters look at. It would also depend from job to job. I know for a lot of creative jobs, content creation, photography, whichever job might require to have somewhat of a portfolio, I think having that social media presence really helps. But I in my in my experience, I've seen that most recruiters do check your social media, but it's not the only thing that they would base off their ultimate decision on. So try and work on yourself, I would say. Try and develop a lot of these skills, and uh, and I think be open to the idea of making a social media profile, especially on LinkedIn, because that is something which I know a lot of recruiters do look at. So be open to that. Try and build yourself there. If someone goes to your LinkedIn page, they should be able to see everything that you've done, the different courses that you've done, the different experiences that you've had. So I think it is a good idea for you to build up your professional profile on especially LinkedIn. I would say Instagram and I think other social media platforms might be more helpful for careers that are maybe more creative and that might require maybe you having a portfolio. But I think LinkedIn is something that everyone should try and make, because it's a one place where a lot of people can see everything that you've done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, so we will start with the one person. For example, Pooja have just completed her graduation. So, what step Pooja need to take towards having a job, or still she have to start with 12th standard to taking this step, or after graduation, like making a CV or applying for a job, preparing for the interview. We will go by step to step.
Tell Pooja is that ideally she should have, if she is currently in her 12th grade, she can start making her resume. It's something that it's something which she can start doing, because ideally a good time to get an internship is after your first year of college. If it is possible for you to get an internship, get it in your holidays. So because you, as far as age, you are eligible to go and get an internship. So I think I would suggest that Pooja make her resume immediately after her 12th grade. Once she is cleared, she can start getting a lot of the skills that are needed. So if she hasn't done a computer course, maybe she should do that. Getting all of these basic things which are absolutely necessary, getting those. And I think she can start exploring internships right from college. And I've seen many a times, students that are able to do this, they are able to get internships, they're able to explore the interests that they have. And by the time they actually graduate, they are quite sure about, okay, I actually want to get into this field, because they've already done maybe 2 or 3 internships by then.
So we will look out like which you said like job and internship we will get from the LinkedIn or Internshala, this platform. We can make a our online resume there. So do you know what things should we add in the resume that lead to like quick career, like you get quickly get selected in that particular job profile?
What is important for students to understand is the uh, the whole idea of making a resume is that the resume should get you to the interview table. That is the idea. The resume should not contain everything that you have done up till now. It is just a brief one pager, especially for students who don't have any experience. I think one page is more than enough for you to capture what you have done up till now. The idea behind the resume is to get you to the interview table. You can elaborate on everything that is there on the resume once you are at the interview table. I think along with the resume, there is one other thing that I would highly encourage students to also focus on is the cover letter. So the cover letter is something which would change basically depending on the internship that you're applying. Every internship or a job that you apply to, the cover letter will change. You will need to revise the cover letter. The cover letter is a document that basically tells the recruiter or the employer why you are suitable for this internship or job. So the resume would be a little bit more standardized. The cover letter is to the internship or job that you are applying to. So you need to also learn how to make a nice cover letter. If you have these two documents ready and if they are made well, properly edited, no spelling mistakes, nothing, most likely you will be able to reach the interview table. And then once you are there, you can talk a lot about the different skills that you have, why you think you're suitable for this job.
Yes, so like cover letter basically we make simple to audience. Cover letter is basically when you're attaching resume on in email, you have to write on the email body what is about. That is cover letter, right?
Yeah. So cover letter could be in the form of an email, or it could also be in the form of a separate document that maybe if you are, let's say you are applying on Indeed or one of these portals where you can directly upload the cover letter. The idea behind the cover letter is that it will tell the organization why you are well suited for this internship or job. So let's say if the internship is for someone who is an accountant, let's say. So the cover letter should mention how good you are at numbers, what are the different courses that you have done, and why you would be suitable for this particular job. Whereas the resume will have all your degrees and the courses that you have done. The cover letter will be more specific and it will tell the organization why they should pick you for that particular job.
Yes, sir. The cover letter and the resume should not be a fake. Like to getting a select, we use like people used to add the skill which they don't have, and like they hyper their experience and the skill and the certificate which they totally not have. So it is good or bad. Like to getting selected to interview stage.
Yeah, so I would suggest that you should not put anything on your resume or which you don't have enough proof to back up with. You either need a certificate, you either need a reference who can uh, corroborate what you have put on your resume. Putting anything which you have not done just to reach the interview table, I don't think that is usually helpful, because once you are at the interview table, most of the questions will be about what you have put in your resume and your cover letter. So if you've not actually done those things, you will find it very difficult to answer any of those questions in the interview. And then that again will not reflect very well on you.
Yes, sir. True, very true. And so, should we like update our CV or cover letter by job profile to job profile?
So again, with students, so many students are doing so many courses. You need to keep your resume updated. Every time you do a course, please put it up. Every time you work on a project that is, you feel like this is something that other people should know about, do put it on your resume. Cover letter will have to be customized for the job that you're applying to, because the whole purpose of the cover letter is to tell the employer why you are suitable for that role. So you will not be able to use the same cover letter for all the roles that you're applying for. So resume, cover letter both need to be updated. Uh, both need to be cross-checked. Please make sure that there are no spelling mistakes, there are no errors, because that is the first touch point that you have with the organization or with the recruiter. So if there are any mistakes there, however, you might be the best candidate for the job, but if your resume and cover letter even has some of these small mistakes, you might not actually make it to the interview table. So one has to be very careful about that.
Very true, sir. So, like, it has always had a confusion, like what to add and what to not add in a CV. Because, like, for example, I am passionate toward the dancing also, but I am applying for the accountant job. For dancing, having a state level certificate that not help in the accounting job profile. So, how we solve this problem, and should we use the chat GPT to make our CV or these things?
Yeah, I think students should use technology to make their CVs. I think there are a few things one should keep in mind even when you are using these different platforms to make the CV. Whatever you put in the CV should be relevant to the job that you are applying for. So you said that if you're applying for an accountancy job, I think try and put everything that is relevant to that job. So what might be a good idea is, what are the skills that are important for an accountant? Anything that you can connect to those skills, you can put on your resume and your cover letter. If there's something that you cannot connect to this job, so then I would suggest leave it out, because the longer you make your resume, the more unlikely recruiters are to go through it. So try and fit everything into one page, whatever is relevant. Especially for a fresher, I think one page should be more than enough. You can put group activities that you put, because then that does tell the organization that you've done some amount of group work, teamwork. So again, you need to decide on what are the skills that are important for this job or internship I'm applying for, and then see what in my experience connect to these skills. Try and put that.
Yes, sir. Very important. And also, sir, like for example, student who just done their graduation or 12th standard and they applying for the first internship. They don't have a experience. Maybe they have a volunteer experience. What they should add in their resume?
Yeah. So I think for students who don't have any experience, usually they do struggle to how do they fill up their resume, because you don't want just maybe half a page or so. I think in those situations, this is where the extracurriculars that you do in college becomes very important. So what are some different things that you've done in college? Are there some projects that you've been a part of? Are you part of the NCC, NSS? Have you done any volunteering work? I think these are all very relevant when it comes to learning some of these very job relevant skills. So do try and mention that. And sometimes, students are not sure whether if I have done something outside of school, should I put that, or if I've done something outside of college, should I put that in the resume? I think yes, please do feel free to put out. Maybe one example I can share is I had a student who was part of the organizing committee of a Ganesh Chaturthi pandal in his community. So that does require a lot of things for him to do. There was a lot of coordination